Hi everybody, this is Paula Jones from mycoachclass.co.uk, and I'm really pleased to welcome you to this webinar this evening, this interview that I'm doing with one of the most amazing clients, Jacqueline Hurst. For those of you who don't know me, I run Coach Class, which I'll tell you about in a moment. I think a few of you are going to know Jacqueline, and Jacqueline has created this amazing program for life coaches called the Life Class. And I'm really happy that she's here tonight because she's going to be talking to us about the Life Class. We're going to be talking about coaching, how amazing coaching is, how great it is to be certified as a coach. But just before we start, just got a little bit of housekeeping. So as we're using GoToWebinar, it's just a brilliant piece of software, but sometimes technology falls over. So if the technology does fall over at any point, if you just reconnect, so just get yourself back into the page where you signed up and just reconnect. If the same happens for me, if my technology disappears, I shall probably be leaving Jacqueline stranded there for a moment, unfortunately. But we will get back in as soon as we can. If you have any questions, then just feel free to raise your hand. There is a raise hand option on the panel in front of you. And just type in your questions as you go along. We'll probably have time for questions and answers at the end as well. So we'll be able to take you off mute if you'd like to speak, and we can have a chat with you. And Jacqueline, are you there?
I'm here, Paula. Hi.
Brilliant. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm just so excited about doing this webinar. This is great because you're my best client ever.
You're my favorite coach ever. I'm just looking at me in a t-shirt over there, thinking, goodness, I wish we had that warmth back, you know?
Oh, I know. I'm actually sitting at home at the moment and I have my log fire burning. So I hate to make you feel that jealous, but it's great. I feel so warm. So we're going to come on to you in a moment, Jacqueline. Again, just to bear in mind, if the technology falls over for any reason, then we will get there. So it will all be fine. Okay, so just a little bit about Coach Class. Coach Class is the business that I run, and it's about helping coaches and therapists and business people to create amazing courses for their clients. And the reason that I do this is because I'm a qualified and certified coach. I'm also a hypnotherapist, so I kind of work across various disciplines. But I also spent nearly 2 decades in training and development, which makes me a lot older than I want to admit to being. But I see a lot of courses out there that just really aren't up to scratch. They're just information products. And information products, we see those everywhere. They're from your local pizza place to really badly translated instructions on products that you buy. So anyone can put out an information product. It's not that big a deal. But what Coach Class is about helping you understand learners, helping you understand a bit of adult psychology, where your learners might be at a particular stage in their life. And it's giving your learners what they need by giving them what they want, and also helping to give you the confidence to put your knowledge across as being the expert in your field. And this is one of the reasons that it's been so great to work with Jacqueline, because she had a really clear idea of what she wanted to do. She just didn't know how to put it across. That was it. That's where we came to work together to put this gorgeous course together. And I'm so proud to have been part of this, just to be on this journey with Jacqueline. It's been absolutely amazing. She's worked so hard in creating this course. I think there's probably been a few tears on the way, possibly from both of us. And it's just been such an amazing thing to see this happen. So I'm very proud of it. And if you want to know a bit more, you go to mycoachclass.co.uk and find out a bit more about how we can work together. But for now, let's find out a bit more about Jacqueline. So, Jacqueline, over to you. Tell me a bit about yourself.
Thanks, Paula. Your introduction just there was absolutely brilliant, and big shout out to you, really, because, like you said, I came to you um, at a place where my business had become pretty successful, and the next stage for me was to try and help more people, and I just didn't have enough time. There's only 8 hours in a day, so
Mm-hmm.
coming to you with that course and starting from, like, I've got this idea, Paul, and now what do I do? And you were the sanity in this whole process, and like you said, it was definitely blood, sweat, and tears along the way. So without you, Paula, this wouldn't have come to being. So you've got a really big part to play in this. And excuse me, I want to say thank you. Excuse me, just getting over a cold.
Mm-hmm.
So to tell you a little bit about me, my name obviously is Jacqueline Hurst, and I started to coach people really way back from the age of 25, when I started to get my own life sort of sorted out. I had issues and problems and this kind of thing, and I was trying to get help, and I couldn't really find help that was really straight talking and to the point. I heard a lot of, how do you feel about that? But I never really got sort of someone saying, this is what you need to do, this is
Yeah.
how you manage your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on this journey of sort of self-discovery from 25. I'm 37 now, and it's been a really wonderful process of learning and growing and pulling all different bits and pieces of things that worked for me together. So that's how the business sort of started. And when people started to come and see me, I would, give them tools and techniques of how to manage their mind. And it's been a really fascinating process to see people come into my office that were really struggling with all different issues, from emotional eating to procrastination to marriage problems to hating their job, earning loads of money but didn't know what to do, and helping these people to start to really change their lives by changing their mind.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really how my business started, and that's what I got into. Sorry, go on.
It's the things that you're talking about there, with the really diverse range of things that people come to you about, and the fact that you couldn't find what you were looking for as well. It does show you, doesn't it, just what kind of a duty of care a coach has, and what a responsibility that you have as a coach.
I completely agree with you, and I think that's exactly, today, in this day and age, you can pretty much read a book and say, right, I'm a coach, and start something up. The profession itself, there's no legal requirement to be part of anything. So there's lots of people out there that are, saying they can help you, but that fundamentally don't really know exactly what to do. There are many people out there that lots of different therapies can help lots of different people. My experience was I couldn't find someone that could help me and tell me exactly what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why yeah, I went into business and became successful from that.
Yeah.
And also, that's really why I started to create the life class, was because I wanted to get more people out there that knew what they were talking about, and that they were going to be really fantastic coaches and in turn really help people. That was the point.
That is such a big deal, isn't it? You and I have had this conversation before, and we've both got a bit of a bee in our bonnet about it. There are so many coaches out there. So, I mean, this doesn't go for every coach. If you don't have a certification, you can't be a coach. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But there are a lot of coaches out there that do just slap the title coach at the end of what they do, and they don't actually understand what the coaching process is. They don't understand how to ask the right questions. They don't understand how to help that person's mind. And all coaching works at that level, whether it's business coaching or personal coaching. It all works at the mind level. And the same goes with hypnotherapy as well. It's an unregulated industry. You and I are both members of the General Hypnotherapy Register. So we're both certified and both accredited as well, which is brilliant. Because if you're messing about in somebody's head, you want to know that that person knows what they're talking about, don't you?
Absolutely right. I think hypnosis is different in that way because you're starting to use someone's, subconscious mind, whereas with life coaching, you're working obviously on the conscious,
Hmm.
but that's just as important. And my belief around coaching, Paula, is that I don't want people in my office, every week for the rest of their life. I want them in. I want to give them the tools and the techniques and show them what to do.
Hmm.
Basically, whip them into shape as quickly as I can for them,
Yeah.
and for them to say, at the end of it, thank you very much, bye bye. It's not about being somebody's mother or carer. It's about saying, hey, this is your problem. This is what you need to do to help yourself.
Hmm.
I can be there for you through that, journey until you understand the process, and then you won't need me anymore. And that's really, my whole point of coaching.
Absolutely. When you've got a client that is in a codependent relationship, the last thing they need is to be in a codependent relationship then with you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, which comes down to, your own personal code of ethics again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so we know that coaching is just such an amazing profession to be in. We've got a real duty of care and a real responsibility, and it's a fantastic job. I mean, to me, it's just the best job in the world. I absolutely love it. Um, so with that in mind, why did you create the life class? Will you just go into the life class specifically a bit more?
I created it, Paula, really, as I said, to get people out there who know what they're doing. That's number one.
Hmm.
And number two, like you, I think being a coach, to me, it's not a job. It's something that I literally jump out of bed for in the morning
Yeah.
because I get to help people to help themselves and I get to see their life change. So creating the life class meant for me, if I could teach people how to manage their mind and go through that journey, and then they could help more people,
Hmm.
that meant that I could spread the light as such in a much greater way than I ever could on my own in my office.
Yeah.
So that was really the basis of creating the life class. And people don't even really have to become certified life coaches. They can just take this for their own selves if they want to start
Hmm.
to manage their mind and change their life. If you want to be a coach as well, even better. And I know that if you're studying with me and you're doing my course, I'm on it with you and I'm going through that journey with you. I'm supporting you through it. And then, if you're taking the exam and you're qualifying, you've got my name behind you. So you're going to have to be really, really good.
Oh, yes.
Um, exactly. I wouldn't put my name to anything less than what I think is expected out there.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And the process of going through a coaching training program is like no other experience you ever have. I mean, this is not to frighten anybody at all. When I did my coaching training, I don't think I've cried so much in my life as I did through the process of learning to be a coach. But it was just such a journey of not only discovering how to coach, but learning about myself and realizing, oh, right, okay, so that's why I do that. And here's what I do to change it. And it was just such a brilliant thing. The ability to coach, as well as that, is amazing because you'll have gained knowledge about yourself, which is absolutely invaluable, which allows you then to have that insight into other people and how they might be feeling and what they might be going through.
I think that's so important, and that's why you've got to go through it yourself first so that you can then relate to other people. I remember with my coaching, I studied pretty much all over the world. I did a lot of my work in America, and my journey was, for me, yours was, as you said, like you were crying. Mine was frustration. It was like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And it was really like a baby learning to walk. And I would get it and then I didn't, then I'd get it, then I didn't. And then when I got it, it was like, oh my God. And everything started to change. And it just sets you on a path where you really start to love your life. And I think that's priceless, Paula.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And this journey that we keep going on about here, it's so fundamental to the process of coaching. of learning to be a coach. Because, yeah, you can just read a book and say, okay, I'm a coach. But it's a very intellectual kind of process. If you don't go through the emotional and neurological responses as well that you undertake when you're learning to be a coach, it's kind of a one-dimensional experience. I
Yeah,
think genuinely as a trained coach, you get so much more out of it. Plus, your clients do, and let's face it, it's all about them.
absolutely. It is all about them. And,
Mm.
there's a big part in the course as well about that, about how to, go into a session with someone and make it about them, and be very clear in your own mind that that hour that you're with that person, it's their hour, and showing people how to do that.
That's brilliant. That's a really important part of it as well, because I think one of the things that a lot of coaches worry about when they first start out is, what am I going to talk to this person about? But actually, if you stick to the process and you trust the process, you never have that worry, because you're not listening to the client and waiting for a point where you can jump in and speak. You're listening to the client, and the conversation will flow depending on what they're saying, because it is all about them. That's so important.
Absolutely. And actually, it's about not jumping in and speaking, isn't it? It's about learning
Exactly.
how to listen.
Exactly. Every other conversation we have in our life, apart from this one, obviously, is about waiting for a gap, isn't it? So you can have your say. It's not really a conversation. And most of the interaction we have with people is like that. It's just, okay, when's it my turn to speak? But in a
Yeah.
coaching relationship, it just flows, and it's amazing.
I agree with you, Paul. I really do.
Okay, so what are some of the things then that students can learn on the life class? Do you know what? I'm so excited about this. I want to join it myself.
Join it, join it. There's We're learning lots of things in the life class. We've got a really amazing syllabus going on here, and we've got 8 modules with a bonus in module 9.
Mhm.
So it's really based on being, the best life coach that you can possibly be, and the best one out there, in the world, to be top, top, top of your game.
Mhm.
So you're going to be learning about managing your mind. The whole point of the school is that you've got to go through this and understand it on an emotional and, spiritual, physical level first
Yeah.
before you teach anybody else. So you're going to learn how to build up really good relationships. It sounds really easy, that sentence, how to build great relationships, but actually it's a real skill.
Mhm.
You know, we've got lots of work on the topic of rapport and communication skills and interpersonal skills, and a few secrets like teaching people how to understand what, other people are really saying. So
Mhm.
when I say that, what I mean is that people can be speaking, but actually you can be picking up on so many other key facts along the way, not just by what they're saying. And I always find that part of that module really exciting, because it's
Yeah.
sort of like the secret to the universe. And you
Yes.
can use that with everyone. You can use it with your husband or your boyfriend or your best friend, and it's sort of this subtle stuff that you can learn to pick up on. So we're going to be learning about that. And we're going to be learning all about belief systems, challenging them, and learning also, very importantly, how to change them.
Yeah.
People are going to be learning lots of different unique tools to use with clients about whatever issue the client comes in with, as I say, from procrastination to goal setting to relationship issues. So loads of tools there. People will be learning about feelings and thoughts and actions and reactions, and working out models and ways of how to understand that. People are going to learn all about, what to do on their first session with a client, how to schedule, timetables of sessions. And what I've added in as well is helping people learn how to run a business. It's
Mm.
all very well being the best coach in the world, but if you don't know how to run a business, then you're pretty much stuck from the start. So that's a really important module there.
Yeah.
And then we've also added in how to actually get clients through your doors. So it's sort of a double whammy. So it's not just this is how you run a business, but hey, this is how you're going to actually get people to come and see you.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get a really fantastic bonus at the end, which is a secret, which I obviously can't tell you, but it will
I
really
know what
help
it
you.
is.
Okay, okay, okay. But that bonus is also a really great part of the course, because I think, it will help people on their life coaching journey as well. So
Um,
that's just an bonus for people that take the course.
I feel so smug that I know what the secret is. It's great.
Paula Jones.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just so exciting. It's such a fantastic course. Um,
Great.
and I had a million things I want to ask you there. So,
I gave you a lot there.
you
Lots of
did,
information.
you
You'd
did.
love information. Yeah.
It's just such a great prospect, this course, and it just takes me back to when I was doing my own coach training and learning about things like belief systems, just to come back to that for a second. And again, this is one of those reasons why it's so important to know what you're doing as a coach, because people build their lives, their businesses as well, based on their own reality. And your reality is very different to mine. So, we have very different view of the world based on our belief systems. And when you're
Absolutely.
working with those, you can find people's lives kind of unraveling, can't you? So, especially if they've had to pull apart something that they believe to be right, but actually is doing them no good whatsoever. Having that responsibility again, you need the skills to be able to guide that person through it.
Absolutely. And you've got to be able to do that. And I think that's where a lot of people, fall down, is
Mhm.
that, people can come out with things, and you have to be very, very clear about how you can help that person. And you have to be confident in that too, Paula. I think that's the other thing is, I'm really keen on teaching people how to be confident with what they're doing. I think
Yes.
confidence is key. So that will definitely come through this course as well.
Definitely, that is, excuse me, that has to be, I think, one of the major things that I learned from being a coach was to be confident,
Mm.
because I certainly wasn't sprinkled with confidence dust by the fairies when I was born. I wasn't a blessed child or anything. So I spent quite a lot of my time not feeling very confident and kind of being apologetic until I learned to be a coach. And I think maybe for a little while I went the other way and got a little bit arrogant. But it all settles down eventually, doesn't it? And that confidence just shines through in everything that you do. But it works most effectively with your clients, because if you're confident in them and what they can achieve, they can only be confident as well.
Absolutely. You've got to be, very strong in your foundations, and that's where this course will help people, because it will give people a foundation where they will believe that they're confident enough to help people. And that was really important in my own training, to get that confidence to be able to help people and know that what I was saying was going to help them.
Yes, absolutely. Because you can see sometimes the look in your client's eyes, can't you? And they're kind of testing you. So, is this true? Is this going to work? So, yes,
Yeah,
if you've got that confidence, you give them that confidence as well. It kind of rubs off, doesn't it?
exactly, exactly.
Fantastic. Okay, so who would be the ideal candidate then for the life class?
Okay, so the ideal candidate is going to be really the person that other people come to a lot for advice and guidance. You're the one that people come to and talk to about their stuff with.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be the one that's sort of empathetic and compassionate and very open-hearted.
Mhm.
You might be someone that's been through your own difficult life events and want to help people with those same experiences. So if you've experienced things in your life which you can use specifically to help others with, um, because your experience in that field is pretty, it's priceless. If you've been through something and you've got through it and you've dealt with it and sorted it out, then that stuff is great to help people with. And you can always specialize in that sort of area. If
Yeah.
you've been through a divorce and you've worked it out and you feel okay about it, then that's something like that would be fantastic. So
Mhm.
the ideal candidate is going to be a really good listener, and they're going to sort of love to encourage and motivate people to feel better.
Yeah.
They're going to be people, Paula, that really truly do want to make a difference in people's lives and the world. They want to make a difference. And they're going to be people also that want to develop themselves and know that they can learn more. And once they learn more, they can help more.
Yes.
And helping others gives you the most amazing feeling of satisfaction and pleasure. And I think that again, the ideal candidate will be feeling that this is something that they just really believe that they're meant to do. There'll be someone maybe that has accomplished, quite a lot already, and wants to learn and grow more to satisfy their own soul. When I say accomplished a lot, I mean, on an emotional level. It might be someone who also has got a calling to be their own boss, and someone who's quite entrepreneurial and wants to be really active in sort of shaping their own career and not being tied down to anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
They might be in a job transition, and looking to finally do their own thing. They could be looking for a total career change, or they could be, a mum that has had 2 kids or 4 kids or 1 kid and decided that it's time now for them to have a little something for themselves on the side.
Yeah.
They could even be and I've spoken to quite a few psychologists and psychotherapists who simply just want to add more tools to their box, and this training would do that as well. They may be people that have read my personal, website and my blog and feel, oh my God, I love this, I want to do this. And there'll probably be people that are feeling really brave and are ready to just go for it and start the most amazing journey of their life, really.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's that you're ready to do this now. You're here. You're thinking about this, and it's just time. It's time for you. I think coaching is one of those professions where it is about, okay, well, this is my time now. It's my time to go and do all those things that I wanted to do, and to go out into the world and help. And it sounds kind of a lofty thing to say, doesn't it? But when you want to help people in the world, just these small changes with a smaller amount of people just do have a knock-on effect. And it's about being ready as well. I was 40 when I trained to be a coach. I'm giving my age away now, because I'm far older than 40. But I was 40 and just ready to make this change, and I'd had all this stuff happen to me. I've been through a lot of stuff that I won't go into, but some of the things that I will tell you, because they're actually kind of relevant to something that you said about niching. So I've been through serious illness, where I nearly died. I have been divorced, but been in a relationship where I was emotionally abused for 15 years. Lost my father, and been declared bankrupt and homeless. So when you think about all of these things, I've actually got a whole load of life experience that I brought into the coaching. So I was a debt coach for a little while. That's not very lucrative, I have to say, but it is great for helping people. I've been a relationship coach. I've been a business coach, and I'm now a business coach. And the business coaching that I work in is training and development. So it's really entirely possible to take what the things that you've been through, and turn those into a coaching speciality, into a coaching niche. And it is actually quite important that you do choose a niche. You can have more than one, but know who you're talking to. So, if you're a single mum, for example, you've been through divorce and you're looking to get back out there and find a partner. There are people out there that are looking to do the same. If you know the process, you can teach it, you can coach it, you can be that person that specializes. So this is just so exciting, all of this, and I could talk about this for days. I won't, though, because it's Jacqueline's turn to talk again.
You can keep talking, Paula. I've got all... No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think also, when we're talking about this knock-on effect, I think also that's really, it's a really, I don't know, when you go through this process yourself, your relationships change, your life changes. Then what's so great about it is, because you start to learn to handle your life so differently, your relationships with your kids change, your friends change, and you're sort of, dotting a little bit of positivity and happiness around. And that actually, it's like a pebble effect, isn't it? Once you throw that pebble in the water, it ripples. And that can be sent down to lots of different people around you. And I think that the more that we can do that, the more that we can spread the good and spread the confidence and spread the understanding, then the more we're going to have happier people, all around the world. And I just think that's such a great thing.
It's lovely, isn't it?
I love it. I
I
love it.
I do. I just think that is just such a gorgeous proposition that in the sphere of influence that you have can be actually so large and so profound just through learning real great techniques in how to coach. It's fantastic.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Okie
agree.
dokie. So here's a great question then. Why should we choose you and the life class over any of the other coaching schools that are out there?
That's a very good question, Paula. Um, okay, so there's many coaching schools out there. Some are in a box. Some are selling themselves on really making life coaching look like it's a very academic subject.
Mm.
So they're doing this by saying to people, you've got to practice for 500 hours over, 18 months and this kind of thing. And it's all very bumped out and long-winded. And my opinion is that's so that they can charge people for the pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the truth is you don't really need to be studying for hundreds of hours to become a really amazing life coach. I just don't think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
The coaching schools out there at the moment are very focused on, business coaching. So you'll see that a lot of the sites make coaching look very academic, very studious. And for life coaching, what I'm teaching people, it's not necessary to be academic. It's about being emotionally intelligent.
Yes.
Because learning tools to help people just doesn't need to be that way. It just needs to be emotional and intuitive and intellectual, really, in that regard, emotionally intellectual.
Yeah.
So a lot of these schools are trying to sell themselves on being also accredited, and some people are talking about this accreditation thing. And to me, accreditation, I'm not really sure I'm cool with that, Paula. You or I could open up a business tomorrow. We could be ABC Limited and we could be a life coach accreditation company. And we could go around to lots of different people and say, right, if you're studying to be a life coach, be part of our accreditation and give us, I don't know, 500 quid for a year and we'll accredit you. But what do they actually do? Now, if you're a life coach, you're already going to have the right morals and values because you're wanting to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's no legal requirement to be accredited, that's something that I wasn't keen on getting into. Because as I said, if you're carrying my name behind you, then you're going to be a good person and you're going to want to be doing good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also another reason why I think, with the life class, we're very, very focused on you as a person and you doing the best that you can do without getting all academic and studious and accredited and all this stuff, which is all completely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Life class is a really very different school from anything out there. So firstly, we are life focused. So in other words, we're teaching people how to simply manage their mind and change their life and in turn help others. It really is that bold and I stand behind that statement, and it's as simple as that. So we're not really pretending to be anything we're not, and we don't really believe that you need to do 500 hours for us to certify you. We believe that if you're going to come on this course and you're going to put everything you've got into it and and understand it and get involved in it, then we know that you're going to be good at that.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that with the right tools and understanding of these tools, you can be a brilliant coach from day one, because you've got it. The life class is really condensed, Paula. It's very strategic and it's very laser focused. So we really give it to you very straight over those 8 weeks, and we just don't beat around the bush.
Mm-hmm.
And basically do the exact opposite of the schools out there. So we want you to learn as much as you possibly can. We throw quite a lot of stuff at you.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that if you're focused on this, you can get this done. You don't need to be doing this for hundreds of hours. You don't. The other thing with the life class, which is quite new, is that it's virtual. So we get to be a virtual school as well as getting to speak and communicate once a week as well. And we've got a forum as well, so people will get in touch with each other on that. So it basically means that you just don't have to, on a freezing cold night in January, go to, I don't know, the Euston Road and sit in an old smelly classroom. You can literally put your pajamas on, or in your case, Paula, sit by the fire,
Absolutely.
and do the course. And the virtual side of it really allows people to have a lot more freedom. So they can watch the videos and do all the worksheets in their timing. They can schedule it for themselves when it suits them.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that we've got this community where everybody in class is going to, get to know each other and help each other as we go. So we're building really good friendships and relationships with each other and supporting each other, throughout the course, which again is, very important for you as a coach, and on your coaching journey, or even if, as I say, you're not doing it to be a coach, you just want to do it for yourself and manage your mind. It's really great to meet people that are sort of on the same wavelength as
Mm-hmm.
you. We've got a class call once a week, and we get busy chatting and discussing, and I think that feeling of community is really important. And also, another bold statement here, but I do believe that the life class is going to change your life. So it's on all of our marketing materials and all of our promotion materials. The life class will change your life. And it is a really bold statement, but I really do stand behind it. And I don't see any other school out there saying that, Paula.
Neither do I, and I absolutely believe that. I mean, apart from anything else, I can hear the passion in your voice when you talk about it. But I've been that coach who incidentally did sit in a cold room on Euston Road.
Right.
And
I have to do that.
you didn't, and that was very freaky that you picked on that. But I was that coach, and I did love my coach training, absolutely loved it. But it is a very different proposition to this, and I am, again, that coach that's going through hundreds and hundreds of accreditation hours to get this accreditation to this coaching body. And I am kind of wondering, okay, why am I doing this? There is a big difference between certification and accreditation as well, just in case anybody on the line isn't clear on that. Jacqueline will certify you as a coach, as a life class, the life class coach. And she's putting her name to it, and she's saying that as far as she's concerned with this great program she's put together and the standards that she's set out, you are a competent coach to get out there. The accreditation is racking up lots and lots of coaching hours to be told that you're a competent coach by an accreditation body, and often the accreditation bodies don't really do an awful lot other than, as Jacqueline has said, take your cash. Now, I'm sure one or two might take exception to that. However, I have experience of that fairly recently with an accreditation body, and I'm not impressed with them at all. So just something to bear in mind. Certification, absolutely, go for it. Accreditation, not entirely necessary. And this is, like I said, it's so condensed and strategic and laser focused, and it runs over 8 weeks. So you've got no time to get bored, which is fantastic. You've got peer support, which is so invaluable when you're learning to be a coach, because peer support means you've got people to practice with, but you've also got that knowledge that you're all going through the same thing. You're all in the same boat at the same time. So it's a great thing to have. This sense of community will be wonderful for you. Okie dokie. Thank you for that very, very comprehensive answer, Jacqueline. That was fantastic.
I like my comprehensive. So important.
It is very important, isn't it? It's comprehensive, but it's not long-winded. We like that.
We like short, sharp, and to the point,
We do. We don't like any of this messing about stuff.
Right, that's that 500-hour stuff, but I'll stop talking about that now, Paula.
That's okay. We can answer questions about that if anybody needs it. Okay, I think we might kind of have answered this, but there will be a few other points that I'm sure are important here. Why is it so important, do you think, to train as a coach? Just in general, why is it so important?
Yeah, I mean, there are there's so many people out there saying that they're coaches and didn't really have the faintest clue. I mean, I know when I was trying to seek some help, it was a long time ago, but I just remember thinking, you just don't get it. Like you just don't get it. And I saw so many people, Paula, and that's really why I started, my personal business. I saw so many people who just asked me these benign questions that led me further into sort of frustration than actually getting answers. So being properly trained as a life coach means that you should be getting your clients fixed up and sorted out as soon as you can. I'm not saying rush through it, that's not what I'm saying at all, but what I'm saying is help them to help themselves, and as soon as you have taught them that, they would not need to be relying on you.
Hmm.
And you can only really do that if you're good. The life class has really unique tools that helps you to help people on that basis. So because we've got these super high expectations of all of our students, we want all of our students, to be coaches who are really top notch. And if they don't pass the exam, then they're just not going to be certified. They can retake, and that's fine, and that's okay too. But it really is, if you're not going to put the effort and the energy into doing it, then we're just not going to certify you, because giving you the life class name behind you means we're putting out into the world that you are a really great coach and that we believe in you and we know that you're really, really good.
Hmm.
So that's why I think being trained as a coach is very important. Having someone come into your office and them looking at you for answers, you want to be that person that can give them those answers. You don't want to be sitting there thinking, oh my God, I don't know how to help them and I don't know what to say. And
Hmm.
that's why training is really, really important. You want to be a good coach. It's imperative to know what you're doing.
And one of the points you made there is if you've been with a coach who's clearly not been through this and doesn't know how to help you, first, it's a waste of your time and money. It makes you question yourself as to whether or not you're wrong as a client, whether or not you're wrong, or whether you should actually be seeking this coaching relationship and coaching help. And honestly, it gives coaches a bad name. The world, I hate to say this, the world doesn't need another coach because there are so many coaches out there. It's the biggest growth industry for services. And the coaching bubble, as they liked to call it, popped many, many years ago. What the world needs, apart from love, sweet love, is solutions. We need answers to our problems. So that's why there are so many coaches out there who have not been trained, who don't really fit the criteria that you need to be a coach. So if you are a trained coach, you're going to be one of the successful ones. And if you're a trained coach who does understand the person sitting in front of you, understands their motivation, and understands what it is that they need, your clients will just love you. You will be in referral heaven.
Yeah.
And there are so many coaches out there who fail, and I can tell you from absolute experience of having been a trained coach and having been on the receiving end of coaching where that person hasn't been trained, the difference is just so vast. So I get kind of worked up about this myself. It's just so important to get trained. It's the difference between knowing you can help somebody and knowing that you can't, and that sinking feeling of, oh God, I don't know what to do, will never happen to you as a trained coach. It's never happened to me yet in all of the diverse situations I've found myself in, because as a coach, although we say it's great to niche, you can actually work with anybody. That's the great thing about it, is you can work with any situation because you know what to ask.
And I
It's
think that's, one of the key facts about the life class as well, is that we give you tools and techniques to use that is gonna work in every single situation someone, brings to you.
Mhm.
And you say, the world doesn't need another coach. I think what the world does need is good coaches. The
Mm,
world needs, people out there that we can go to and say, hey, this is the situation, what am I going to do about it? And be helped with that, so that we can then, again, spread the good stuff, get our mind straight, and then start to change our lives and those of the people around us.
absolutely. You're a solutions provider. That's
Absolutely.
that's it, and it's an amazing position to be in. So if you think of yourself in that way, that you genuinely help people, you're not just coaching, you are helping people, you're changing lives, and that knock-on effect is just incredible.
Yeah, I agree with you. I
What's the
really do.
best thing about being a coach, Jacqueline?
God, Paula, we'll be here all night. You've got me right on my favourite subject. I've said it before and I'll say it again, that your own life really does start to change beyond all imagination. Your relationships start to become really good.
Mm-hmm.
Your life starts to feel really awesome, like daily.
Mm-hmm.
You really get out of bed and think, yeah, I've got this, and I love that. And you can really start to handle anything, and I mean anything,
Mm-hmm.
really sort of effortlessly and easily. So, you start to get your own time back. You start to be in control of when and how you work, and you've got no one else to answer to but you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Being a coach means, especially from the life class, because we're going to certify you if you're good, you're going to make good money. It's a great business to be in as well, even though money may not be your primary, because your primary will hopefully be that you want to help people. Secondary comes in really great money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even need to have an office, Paula. You can start doing it from Skype or on the phone. You can do it like this on a in a webinar way if you want to. You can do it with groups of people if you wanted. You start to change people's lives for the better, and you get to help people go from places of anger or frustration or anxiety to simply see them going into this calm, happy place.
Mm-hmm.
You get to help people who struggle with issues, food issues, relationship issues, and you get to see them stop struggling. And you get to help people learn how to help themselves. So they start to feel amazing because you've helped them. And it's like you've hit the jackpot every single day. And I think being able to be part of people's journeys, and that, beautiful thing that you have when you see someone go from, really a very, distracting, not happy place to a place where they are sort of, literally skipping into your office. It's just such a great feeling because you've helped that person and you know that they are now spreading good stuff around them. And that's just the best feeling in the world, Paula.
It's incredible, isn't it? I was saying before that, excuse me, you've been my favourite client, and I'm not just saying that. That it's been just such an amazing thing to work with you and see you go from don't know what to do, frustrated, oh my god, I hate the technology, etc., etc. So
Technology.
yes, to look at this fantastic course. And it's been such a journey, hasn't it? But because you are a life coach as well, because you've been through that process, you've handled everything that's been thrown at you. At the moment, I'm going through some stuff because this is what happens. This is real life. But it's okay. We go through our stuff because we've got techniques to handle it. We can use some of this stuff with ourselves, or get your other half or a friend to say, right, ask me these questions because I need to step back a little bit. But you go through this process yourself. So whatever stuff you've got going on, it's okay, you can deal with it. The other great thing about having clients, of course, is that you turn your focus onto them and you don't think about yourself quite so much. So
Yeah, yeah, very important.
all good, isn't it? It is the
It is, yeah,
best job in the world.
I agree with you.
Wouldn't
People
change.
can't believe it, Paula, when I say, when people say to me, being a coach, how do you feel about it? And I'm like, I love it. I love my life. I love my job. I'm really, I'm lucky. And of course, everybody has stuff in their life, but I learn how to deal with it and I learn how to cope with anything that's being thrown at me. And I'm sure if anybody's read my About Me page, I've been thrown a lot of stuff like you, Paula, and
Mhm.
it's really great to be able to say, do you know what, bring it on. I can handle it. It's okay. And I think that's such an empowering place to live your life from, rather, than a place of I can't handle it, I don't know what to do. You put yourself into the driver's seat of your life with the life class, and that's really the aim of having this whole course created and getting people on it, to help them literally get their life back and live the life they love.
Absolutely. And as it says there on the slide, this school will change your life, guaranteed. And it
Yeah,
will. It
yeah.
genuinely will. You will be so much calmer, more sorted, happier, able to deal with stuff. So if you took this course for your own benefit, brilliant. If you take it for your own benefit and to run your business, Fantastic. I can't think of a better start for you as a coach. And honestly, there are two things I wish here. Firstly, I wish I'd already been a coach and could have met Jacqueline earlier because we would have worked really well together. Or I wish the live class had existed earlier and I could have gone on that instead. But there you go.
That's very kind. Thank you, Paula.
That's quite all right. Okay, I think we're pretty much at the end of our questions here. Is there anything else that you want to add, Jacqueline? While we're thinking about that, if anybody has any questions, if you want to just type into the chat box, and I shall keep an eye on that. So, is
The only thing I would like to add, which is sort of lastminute.com, but why not, is that I'd like to say that whoever's come along tonight on to listen to this webinar, what I'm going to do is, if they're interested in taking the course, is just because these people are on the webinar, and I'm sure you've got the names, Paula, of who's on here, which is that I'd like to offer them up until midnight tonight if they wanted to join it. I'd like to give them £100 off. This isn't a necessity for me to do. We've got a really amazing, buzz going around, and the list is filling up. We'll cut it off soon, but as I say, because people have come along tonight to listen, and it's something that they might think they're interested in, then I'd like to give them that discount.
Okay, so if you want to go and grab your discount, on a lot of webinars, you see end of webinar offers where it's sign up and get £500 off. Now this is not that discount. This is as a thank you again for being here. Please go and take a look at this. It's www.lifeclass.com/special discount life class. This course is just such amazing value that you just go take a look at it. It's fantastic. You can also have a look at the lifeclass.com generally and just see a little bit more of the live class, and if you have any more questions, I'm sure they'll be answered on there as well. But this offer, like Cinderella, will just be off at midnight. So this is the only chance. This will not be back again. Bajinda is asking, what is the accredited body you award certification to?
Sorry, could you say that again, Paula?
Yeah, it's what is the accredited body you award certification to?
So you're going to be certified from the life class itself. So that's how you become certified. The life class isn't getting involved with accreditation until there's a company out there that I need to legally be part of. As I say, if you're going to join the life class, it's pretty much you're going to be someone with the right morals and values that wants to help people and probably doesn't need someone standing over them to make sure that they're going to be a good person and do the right thing. So the certification simply comes from the life class itself, and that's what will happen.
That's fantastic. Alexis asks, on average, how soon after becoming certified would you expect to have your first client?
I would expect to have it once probably straight away. I mean, you could do it from you can even start practicing with people, from the beginning. And if you had your first client that wanted to, pay you some money, as long as you're insured, which again we'll tell you all about that in the life class, you could do it even whilst you're training if you wanted to.
That's certainly what I did. That I was still in training when I got my first clients. And yes, I was insured, as Jacqueline says. It's really important. You must be insured to be a coach, and she will cover that with you in the course. But yeah, there is absolutely nothing that has to stop you from starting to work with clients pretty much straight away. And this process is an 8-week process as well. So it's not like you've got to wait a really long time, even if you didn't feel comfortable at that point. So, as soon as you start putting the word out there that you're training, you will have people interested.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened to me as well when I started to really start to, get things moving. I mean, I did loads and loads and loads of different courses, and when I sort of started saying, right, I'm going to go and do this now, people were saying, okay, well, I'd love to get a bit of help, and if people are desperate and need a bit of help, then they're willing to be helped by you if you're someone who is, a genuine person,
Mhm.
Paula.
Absolutely. It's that one thing that we go on about for days in the coaching profession is being authentic. You can only be yourself. So I know that the coaching style that I have will not suit everybody. I can be a bit blunt. I'm not a fluffy coach. Um, Jacqueline, you're not particularly fluffy, are you, my love?
I think I'm probably the opposite of fluffy, Paula.
Uh-huh. I think this is why we get on so well because neither of us are the fluffy coach type. But if you want somebody who's direct and honest and open and, maybe occasionally a bit sweary, then we are the people that you would come to. So it's being yourself, being absolutely authentic in who and what you are. It's very attractive to particular audiences, and it's usually people who are very like you, I find.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, there's parts of obviously working with people where, you will be compassionate and you will help them. Sometimes there's tears, sometimes, there's more than that. Sometimes there's anger. But I think that, one of my favorite sayings, and I'll be using this a lot in the course, is, you have to stay on the side of the swimming pool. You can't jump in with them, and that helps people more than if you sit there and go there, there, there. You've got to get direct with the work that we're doing because it's such a powerful process.
Mhm.
Obviously everybody has their own way of coaching. My way will be different from all of my students' ways, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But if you've got the fundamental tools which we'll be teaching you, then the world's your oyster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that phrase as well. It's the difference between sympathy and empathy, isn't it? Empathy is chucking a life raft to somebody who's drowning, and sympathy is getting in and drowning with them. So, yes, we stay on the
Exactly.
side of the process, stay on the right side of the swimming pool.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, well, we don't have any more questions, so thank you for those questions. I think we're done. Is there anything else you want to add, Jacqueline?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who's come along onto the webinar and listened, and I hope that it's been an interesting webinar for people, and it would be great to meet you at the live class.
Thank you to Bajinda. We just got a thank you there. So thank you very much again from me as well. We really appreciate the time that you take out of your personal time to come and attend these things. I'm sure Jacqueline and I are going to do more of these together as well, um, because I do believe we like the cut of one another's jib. We get on very well. So
We do.
it would be great to see you again on any of these. Um, Jacqueline, you have an email address that you can give out if people would like to contact you further.
Yeah, they can get in contact with me at info at thelifeclass.com.
Brilliant.
Look out for
Um,
that.
And so that's info@thelifeclass.com. And
Yeah,
if you would like to speak to me, it's mojo at sugarbox, so sugarboxcoaching.com. And thank you again so much for being here. And please do go and check out thelifeclass.com/special dash discount dash life class. And thank you so much for being here, and it's been brilliant to see you. And if you have any questions, then please get in touch. This recording will be made available to you. Just bear in mind, if you're listening to it after midnight tonight, Cinderella will have been and gone, so no special offer left. But it's a fantastic course, so please think about it very hard, and I hope you're going to be there. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, guys. Bye bye.
thanks. Bye bye.